Okay, let's move on to online safety. And of course, we have this situation of them wanting to ban chat. Well, of course, they don't really want to ban chat as such. They just want to ban encrypted chat. So they want to be able to see what we're all talking about. And if you remember last year when we were talking about this, we mentioned the open letter from security and privacy researchers in relation to the Online Safety Bill as it was at that time. It's now the Online Safety Act. But they said at the time, this was various organizations that provide chat functionality, including Signal and WhatsApp and Telegram and people like this. In this letter, we wish to highlight alarming misunderstandings and misconceptions around the Online Safety Bill and its interaction with privacy and security technologies that our daily online transactions and communication rely on. And they were highlighting the dangers of what was being proposed at the time. Now, of course, the organization who is responsible for actually creating the regime that we will be living under the Online Safety Act is Ofcom. And they have this document here: tech firms must clamp down on illegal online materials. And of course, they are saying that children are the key priority. And at the very bottom of this document, it says the proposal will only apply to public communications where it's technically feasible for a service to use this technology consistent and with the restrictions in the Act. They do not apply to private communications or end-to-end encrypted communications. However, end-to-end encrypted services are still subject to all the safety duties set out in the Act and will still need to take steps to mitigate risks of child sexual abuse material on their service. So CSAM being used as the excuse to pursue the agenda of making sure that anybody can snoop on people's private communications as widely as possible. We see the same thing happening in the European Union. So this is the Council of the European Union and their document on this topic, which was published in March. This is basically talking about pretty much exactly the same types of things. So let's bring a quote. In the light of the more limited risk of their use for the purposes of child sexual abuse and the need to preserve confidential information, including classified information, information covered by professional secrecy and trade secrets, electronic communication services that are not publicly available, such as those for national security purposes, should be excluded from the scope of this regulation. So the EU absolutely using the child sexual abuse narrative to justify the removal of, or at least the ability to get round end-to-end encryption so that they can snoop on people's communications. That will apply if you're using WhatsApp or Signal or whatever. But if you're an intelligence agency or a government department, or if you're a corporation that's using a communications technology which isn't available to the public but is only available to your employees, that would not be within scope of this. So, excuse me. So I'm just going to ask the question, would it be appropriate in the UK if we follow this suggestion, for example, or this applies in the European Union as well, of course? Would it be appropriate to allow MPs, if we're all obliged to be clear and in the open with our communications? Is there lesser risk with MPs with respect to child sexual abuse material? Or is there a lesser risk with intelligence agencies? Because this article in Declassified UK is all about Kincora in Northern Ireland, where MI5 for a number of decades was quite happy for the abuse of young boys to take place. Excuse me. So, I do apologise.
This is Declassified talking about the cover-up by MI5, the British government seeking to prevent a full inquiry into horrific abuse of boys' home in Belfast. But of course, that's promoting their intelligence agenda.
Thank you for bailing me out there, Charles. Well, anyway, the point is, if we're going to have end-to-end encryption subverted in this way, it seems to me, in order to protect children, governments and intelligence agencies are the first organizations that should be transmitting their materials in the clear. Anyway, we can talk a bit more about that